We were from a quiet town in Oregon, the kind of place where nothing ever really happens, which is why what happened that night still doesn't make sense. It was winter break when my friend Ethan came to stay with me. We hadn't met in months, so we spent the whole evening outside eating and laughing. By the time we left the diner, it was already around 11:30 p.m. The streets were empty, and a thick fog had started to spread. Ethan looked at me and said, "Let's do something creepy before going home." I don't know why, but the first place that came to my mind was Cedar Hollow Park, a place people usually avoided at night. When we got there, the parking lot was completely empty. The gate was slightly open, slowly moving back and forth as if someone had just entered. The moment we stepped inside, the temperature dropped sharply. It wasn't normal cold, it felt unnatural, like something pressing against your chest. We started walking deeper into the park, our footsteps echoing louder than usual. That's when we heard it, the faint sound of children laughing. At first it was distant, but then it grew clearer, like multiple kids playing together. It didn't make sense. It was midnight and the park was completely empty. We followed the sound until we reached the swings. They were moving on their own, slowly at first, then higher, back and forth, as if someone invisible was sitting on them. There were no children, no shadows, nothing. Ethan whispered, "Tell me you see that." I nodded, but something felt wrong. The swings weren't random, they were moving in a rhythm, almost like they were aware of us. Suddenly, the laughter stopped, completely. No fading, no footsteps, just silence. Even the wind stopped blowing. Then we heard a whisper behind us, very close, almost touching our ears. "Stay." We turned around instantly, but no one was there. That's when we noticed a strange red light in the distance. We slowly walked toward it and saw a man standing still, wearing an old security uniform, holding a flashlight that glowed red instead of white. Without looking at us, he said, "You're not supposed to be here." His voice sounded unnatural, like two voices speaking at once. I told him we were leaving. Slowly, he lifted his head and the light touched his face. His skin looked pale gray, and his eyes didn't reflect the light. They absorbed it. Ethan grabbed my arm and said we should leave. We turned and walked quickly, but after a few steps, something felt wrong. We looked back, and the man was gone, completely gone. No sound, no movement, nothing. As we hurried toward the exit, we heard a voice right behind us, clear and close. "Don't leave yet, you forgot your turn." My heart nearly stopped. We slowly turned around and he was standing right there, only a few feet away. His face looked distorted, like it didn't fit properly, and his eyes were completely black. He raised his hand and pointed toward the swings, saying, "They've been waiting." Behind him, the swings started moving again, but this time violently, and now we could hear something else. Not laughter, but children crying, dozens of them at once. Ethan shouted for me to run, and we sprinted toward the gate. Just as we reached it, it slammed shut on its own with a loud bang. I tried to pull it open, but it wouldn't move. Behind us, we could hear slow footsteps getting closer, dragging, getting nearer, and a voice whispering, "Your turn." Ethan kicked the gate with all his strength again and again, and on the third hit, it suddenly burst open. We ran out without looking back, jumped into the car, and drove away as fast as we could. That night, neither of us slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I could hear the swings creaking back and forth, back and forth. The next day, we went back during daylight. Everything looked normal. Kids were playing, families were sitting around. We found a park worker and told him everything. He went silent and then said that years ago, a night guard had disappeared from this park without a trace, and since then, people believed he still roamed the place at night, making sure no one left without taking their turn. I wish that was the end, but a week later, I found something in my jacket pocket, something I know I never picked up. It was a small, rusted piece of a swing chain, and carved into it were the words, "Next time, you stay."